Greetings to all. Myself Kirtana Alkumar, Department of Commerce, SF. Afternoon. So today I'm going to discuss about the topic Indian Contract Act 1872. The Indian Contract Act 1872 came into force on 1st September 1872. So the contract in the Indian Contract Act, contract defined as an agreement enforceable by law. But for getting more clarity about the contract, we should know about these four terms: proposal, promise, and agreement. The first one is proposal or offer. The word proposal or offer, we can interchangeably use the word proposal or offer in law. Both are same. In law, offer and proposal are same. Okay, then proposal or offer means expressing your willingness to someone else. So when one person expressing his willingness to someone else with expecting the assent of some other person, we can say that it is a proposal. Actually, in proposal, there are two parties: the person to whom the proposal is made and the person to who made the proposal. The word we can use the offerer and offeree. The person who makes the proposal is called offerer or promiser, and the offer to whom the offer is made, we can say that the offeree or promisee. So once again I will say that the person who makes the proposal or offer is called promiser or offerer, and the person to whom the proposal is made is called promisee or offeree. So anyway, the proposal or offer meaning is that expressing your willingness to someone else. And the next one is promise. Promise means when the person accepts the proposal, when the person accepts the proposal become promise. Meaning what? The first one, proposal meaning is expressing your willingness to someone else. So after getting the consent of the proposal, or when the offeree or promisee accept the proposal, when we can see that it become a promise. So after accepting the proposal comes to that the promise. So acceptance plus proposal is promise. The next one is agreement. Every promise forming the consideration for each other is an agreement. Here the word consideration is something different. We know the meaning of consideration in English, but in law here the consideration meaning is something in return or something for something. And here we can use a Latin term quid pro quo. Quid pro quo means something for something. So something in return means the money value or value for something. If I buy a goods from any shop, I just give cash to that person. So that cash or any something in return is called consideration. So the meaning of consideration in law is something in return or something for something. And just remember the word quid pro quo. The Latin word quid pro quo means something for something. So here, when in the case of promise, when consideration is added to there, so after getting some consideration or something in return to the promise becomes the agreement. Okay, so clear. Then the next one is the last one is our contract, an agreement enforceable by law. So after getting enforceability, after the enforceability comes to the contract agreement, the agreement comes to become a contract. So just I will give us more idea about once again. Proposal means expressing your willingness to someone else, and promise means when someone's acceptance is came to that proposal, the proposal become a promise. And agreement means the promise plus consideration is agreement, and contract means agreement plus enforceability. Here the Kesha, a contract is agreement plus enforceability, but agreement is proposal or offer plus acceptance. But means actually enforceability also come to there with the contract. So agreement plus enforceability is contract. Okay. Then next topic, essential elements of a valid contract. These are the essential elements of a valid contract. Valid contract means perfect valid contract. So these are the essential elements of a valid contract. Just use the keyword life can, L for these 3 points, and I for intention to create legal relationship, F for free consent, and E for E for nothing actually, and C for these 3 points, and agreement are not expressly declared, void is the last one for the M. So first one is lawful consideration. Lawful consideration meaning what? Consideration. We already said the meaning of consideration. Consideration meaning what? Something in return or something for something. So in the case of a contract, the consideration should be a lawful one. If someone get any money from the illegal activity or immoral activity, the consideration is not valid. So the consideration should be lawful one. And the next one is lawful object. Lawful object means the object or the purpose or the main object of the contract should be a lawful one. The contract related to illegal, immoral, or opposed to public policy is not be considered as a legal sense. So the object of the contract should be a legal one. Lawful object is necessary for a perfect valid contract. And the third one is legal formalities. Legal formalities means actually the contract may be oral or written. It is not necessary to contract should be become written. The contract may be oral or written. So in the case of written agreements, written contracts, the contract may necessary to sign both the parties, and attaching the stamps are necessary. So that kind of legal formality should be followed based on that contract. And the next one is intention to create legal relationship. Actually, legal relationship meaning what? Legal relationship means, for example, the husband and wife relationship is not a legal relationship. It's a domestic relationship. So, persons in connection with the legal relationship and domestic relationship, persons in connection with legal relationship must be enter into a contract for the valid contract. And if in between the parties have domestic or a social relationship, the contract is not valid. So the legal relationship must be necessary for the valid contract. For example, a husband and wife is not a legal relationship; it just be considered as a domestic or relationship, and friends are just social relationship. These are not considered as a legal relationship. So if a wife promise something to his husband, or wife promise to buy a sari or dress to his wife, this is not considered as a legal or valid contract, because there is no strict legal relationship between these parties. So legal relationship is necessary for the contract. And the next one is free consent. Free consent means the consent of the parties should be free. No one should not be threatening, like coercion or undue influence should not be included in the consent of that party. So when I give a proposal to someone else, means proposal or offer to someone else, the acceptance of that offeree should be given with his free consent. No one have the right to threaten or committing him to enter into a contract. For example, coercion. Coercion meaning threatening or committing to enter into a contract, or detention of property, like that. So it is not considered as a valid contract. If a person trying to enter into a contract with the effect of coercion, it is not considered as a valid contract. Undue influence also is just like that, and misrepresentation is also like that. So if any person enter into a contract with the effect of coercion, undue influence, misrepresentation, we should not be considered it as a valid contract. So for the perfect valid contract, the free consent of that offeree is necessary. And the next one is competence of parties of contract. Competence of parties of contract meaning what? Competency of parties meaning, first one, the party must not be a minor, a major person, meaning after completing the 18 years of age, we say that the person is major. So major can freely enter into a contract, and the minor have some restrictions is there. And persons disqualified by law, like alien enemies, drunken persons are not considered as competent person to enter into a contract. Actually, other normal persons are considered as competent, but this kind of minor, alien enemies, drunken persons, idiots, lunatic, these kind of persons are not. While if these kind of persons are entered into a contract, the contract will not be considered as valid. So the next one is certainty of meaning. Okay, then the object of the contract should be meaning the presentation or the certainty means the contract should be how to be the terms of the contract should be certain and should be definite one, and otherwise it would not be considered as a valid contract. And also see for one more point, consensus ad idem. Consensus ad idem is a Latin word. Consensus ad idem means identity of mind. Actually the word consensus ad idem means identity of the minds, means the persons in the contract like offerer and offeree have to be understand the object or purpose of contract in the same sense. There should not be any difference in there should not be any misunderstanding between the parties. So that says consensus ad idem. So Latin term consensus ad idem means identity of mind. And the next one is agreement. We already said that a contract is agreement plus enforceability. So contract is already in the contract. So agreement is necessary. Without agreement, there is no contract. So agreement is there in the contract. And the last one, not expressly declared void. In law, there are some activities which is void, like wagering. Wagering means bet. That kind of things are already declared as void. So persons entering into a contract for bet or wagering, this is also be considered as a void contract, and that kind of contract is not valid. So these are the essential elements of a valid contract. And kinds of contract. So kinds of contract are classified under the different heads. Based on the formation, contract is classified into two: express contract and implied contract. So the meaning of express contract is, express contract means the contract may be oral or written. Already we said that the contract may be oral or written. So express contract is that the terms and the object and the conditions and everything we can say it in a oral or written. So oral or written contract is, can we say that express contract. And the second one is implied contract. Implied contract means here it is the conditions and terms and object, these are not properly communicated to the offeree, but the offerer and offeree just understand the agreements, terms, conditions, everything by the conduct of the parties or by the circumstance. For example, if we are entering into a bus, there is a not proper way of communication in between the offerer and offeree, means we and our best owners. So but actually it is considered as an implied contract, because from the circumstance we just understand the terms of the contract, like entering into a bus and ATM, go through the ATM are examples of the implied contract. Okay, so these are the two contracts based on the formation. And based on enforceability, the contract is classified into five. First one is valid contract. If a contract satisfies all those essential elements of a those essential elements of a contract, then we can see that it is a valid contract. Okay. Then next one is void agreement. Void agreements, if we are entering into a contract with minor, it is considered as a void agreement. And if we are entering into a contract with idiot, lunatic, drunken persons, alien enemy, that kind of agreements are considered as a void agreements, because it is a void from the very beginning. For the term void from the very beginning, there is a Latin term which is known as void ab initio. Void ab initio means void from the very beginning. So this kind of agreements are known as void agreement. And the next one is void contract. Void contract is entirely different from void agreement. Actually, the word is void is in the first and second and third points. Void contract meaning is uh, the contract is valid in the initial stage, later it becomes void. For example, war. If I enter into a contract with some other country's person, the contract is valid. And after that, if any war came into there, then the contract becomes void. So initially the contract is valid, and after the war, the contract comes to void. So that kind of contract is known as void contract. And the fourth one is unenforceable contract. Unenforceable contract means if any contract have any technical defects included in it, then we can say that that kind of contract is an unenforceable contract. For example, if a person wrongly attached the stamp in it, it is a technical defect. So that is called as unenforceable contract. But unenforceable contract cannot be considered as void or cancelled after correcting or removing or rectifying that error. We can consider it as a valid contract. The next one is illegal contract. Illegal means if a person is entering into a contract related to illegal activities, immoral activities, or any other uh, uh, contract in connection with the opposed to public policy, that kind of contracts are considered as illegal contract. So these are the contract under the classification based on for enforceability. And based on the extent of performance, contract is divided into two: executed contract and executory contract. Executed contract meaning what? Actually there is ed, so there's like a past tense is indicating there. Executed contract means when both the parties in the contract are completed their performance, then we can see that executed contract. So when both the parties are entirely complete their performance of the contract, we can say that it is an executed contract. Executory contract meaning what? Executed means they are completely performed their duties, obligations, everything. Executory means something remains in there. Means something is remains to do that. Maybe by the offerer or offeree. So something is remains by the parties. That kind of contract is called executory contract. So here both the parties are completed their performance, but here something remains. They are not entirely completed their performance. That kind of contract is known as executory contract. And based on the obligation, contract is divided into three: unilateral contract, bilateral contract, and multilateral contract. So unilateral contract means unilateral means we already know that the word indicates just one. So only one party enter into the contract is known as unilateral contract, and whether two parties are included in the contract, we can see that it is bilateral contract, and multilateral means more than two parties. Okay, so these are the three contracts based on the obligation. The definition of proposal, the Indian Contract Act Section 2, Subsection A defines of Indian Contract Act 1872, when one person signifies to another his willingness to do or abstain from doing some anything with a view to obtaining the assent of that to such act or abstinence, he is said to be make a proposal. The proposal is defined like this. The meaning of proposal we already said that means proposal means proposal or offer as seen. Expressing your willingness to someone is known as, simply we can say that expressing your willingness to someone is say that proposal or offer. So it is here his willingness to do or abstains from doing anything with a view to obtaining the assent of other party. Each and every person making a, expressing his willingness with a view to obtaining the assent of that other party. So this is the definition of proposal. Then these are the essential elements of an offer or proposal. The first one, offer may be expressed or implied. Like the contract, the offer may also become expressed or implied. The meaning of express means that offer may be oral or written. Implied meaning is by the conduct of the parties or by the circumstance. And the second one is the offer may be specific or general. Specific meaning what? If one person, the offerer can make a proposal to one person or to a particular group of person or a single person, or here the person, if for example, if I am making contract with Mr. X, here I specifies the name of that person or I specifying a particular person, that kind of contract is called a specific offer. Then without specifying any person's name or a group, I just make an offer to the entire public or entire group or to the all person, we can see that it's a general offer. So anyone can accept the general offer, but in the case of specific offer, only that particular person can accept the offer. So here anyone, in the case of general offer, anyone can accept the offer, but in the case of specific, only that particular can accept the offer. Then the third one, offer must create legal relationship or legal obligations. Like the contract, there must be a legal relationship between the parties. Social and domestic relationship should not be considered as legal or valid. And the fourth one, terms of the offer must be definite and certain. In the case of contract, the terms of the offer and the conditions, everything should be conveyed in very clearly to the offerer or to the offeree. The offerer should be clearly convey the terms and conditions of the offer to the offeree. And the fifth one is, offer must be distinguished from an invitation to offer. Meaning what? If a person gives an advertisement of his shop or products related information to us, this is entirely different from offer. An invitation to offer and normally is entirely different. The next one is, offer must be communicated. To whom we can communicate the offer? The offerer should communicate the offer to the offeree, or proposer, a promiser to promisee. Meaning the terms and the objectives and everything of the offer and or the proposer should be clearly communicated to the offeree. Meaning the communication of offer passes from the offerer to the offeree. Next one, offer may be conditional. There is no restriction for getting a conditional offer. We can make an offer like conditional offer is also valid. And next one, offer must made with a view to obtaining the consent of the other party to do or abstain from doing anything. Meaning, each and every person making an offer with the intention, with the aim of getting the consent of that other party. So this sentence we already discussed in the definition of offer. And the last one is, identical crossover do not make an offer. So here crossover, what do you mean by crossover? If two different persons make similar offer at the same time, both the offer are to be cancelled. That kind of offer is called as crossover. If I make an offer with someone else to sell a blue color pen of at the same time the opposite party also make an offer to me that same pen in the same price, so both the offer will be cancelled. So that kind of offer is known as cross offer. Now how is revocation is made? So normally offer can be revoked by through these points. First one is by notice. By notice, as in written format, we can also revoke the contract or offer, and by the lapse of time. In certain cases, the offer have some time limit. So after completing that time limit or that period, the offer will be lapses. So by the lapses of the time, the offer will be revoked. And the next one, by the failure of the acceptance to fulfill a condition precedent to the acceptance. If a condition is included in the offer, but the person is not fulfilled that condition, or if any failure in fulfill that condition, the offer will be cancelled. And the next one, by the death or insanity of the proposer. Proposer means the promiser or offer, both the same. So, by the death or insanity of the, if I make an offer to Mr. S, but during that time, if the death or insanity of that offerer or me, the contract will be cancelled or revoked. So, if the offerer or promiser has occurred any death or insanity during the period of a contract, the contract will be void, means revoked. The next one, if the counter offer is made to it. Counter offer is just like that. Both the person, two different persons makes a similar offer is called as counter offer. And if an offer not accepted according to the prescribed or usual mode, like change of law, means if a person while entering into a contract specifies as prescribed move for accepting the contract, and the opposite party not fulfill that condition or failure to make that accepting the conditions in the prescribed mode, the contract will be revoked. So these are the different ways to revoke a contract. Okay, and thank you.